This morning, a new neighborhood newspaper arrived at doorsteps around the city. If The Guardian looks and feels much like the now defunct Boston Courant, there's a reason. Well, they're back. After spending a few days in Florida, Jen Tracy and David Jacobs decided it was time to get back in the game.
After 4 to 5 days, my wife turned to me and said, "Call JetBlue, we're coming back. We're starting a publication."
The Guardian is that new publication, replacing the 25-year-old Boston Courant that Jacobs closed because he says they could not pay a $300,000 wrongful termination judgment.
We have a new corporation. We have a new newspaper. We're on to the future.
Jacobs says he relinquished all his old corporate assets to bankruptcy court, including computers, photographs, and back copies of the Courant. Do you have any guilt personally about what happened, about shutting it down, about letting people go, about not paying the judgment?
Any guilt I've had is being assuaged by the fact that we're restarting.
This time, though, Tracy and Jacobs don't own the paper. Investors do. And he says it all came about because readers and advertisers were bereft over the loss of the Courant.
Callie, on your show, when she mentioned a Kickstarter campaign, I was shaking my head when I saw the show. And, forget high-tech Kickstarter, here was an organic one that just literally came out of the blue, people offering money.
How much did you raise?
Quite a bit.
The $800 million question. Are you going to have a website?
No. No, there's no money in it. I have been very, very consistent on that for years.
Read all about it. That was kind of funny, Callie. So he remembered that you had said, maybe there should be a Kickstarter campaign for that paper to actually pay the judgment is what I think you were getting at. But he says it happened organically. He said people he didn't know, he was getting phone calls from advertisers, from people he said, we'll fund you, we'll fund you. He said he could go 3 months without without any advertising money.
Well, as the kids say, I'm not mad at him if he can get that money like that and not kickstart. More power. Lots of people would like to be in his position. I mean, I think it's interesting that there was so much expressed interest because, we all hope for that in this business, that people say we miss our local paper. It had a meaning for us. And so good for him. Back on track.
It's hard for me to feel too good about this, given that he
agree.
lost the judgment, shut down a company, started basically the same company. It's not. I don't think he's on the strongest moral ground here. On the other hand, better to have more journalism than less journalism, and I do. It's sort of a piece with his iconoclastic, I don't believe in the internet, sort of that stance. I guess I wish him well, but I also hope he finds a way to pay off the legal judgment.
I had reservations about it. I mean, he summarily shut the place, let people go with no severance and didn't pay the judgment. I mean,
didn't he bring those people back? And this
one.
Okay, all right.
And by the way, to your point, Josh, it's not a zero-sum game. If he hadn't done this, somebody else might have come along. I met with somebody a couple of months ago who was interested in starting a community news site for the Back Bay. She ultimately decided not to do it. I think she may have realized that David Jacobs was going to be coming back, so that nixed her plans. And she had some interesting ideas she was talking about.
Well, there is competition already, as we've discussed here. There's the
the
Back Bay,
Sun,
or now they call it the Boston Sun,
yeah.
and they started printing and distributing more frequently. They were doing it, I don't know, once every 2 weeks. Now they're every week as well. I mean, they both need a little work in the.
This actually is more attractive than the Courant.
The Sun is online too, though, right?
It's color.
But it's like even the headline, CAC named for Back Bay Station. What the heck is a CAC? You got to read deep into it to find out what the heck that is. It's like I don't know what a CAC is. Do you?
I have no idea what it is.
I guess that's a mystery.
This is the kind of newspaper where I think the ads are almost more important to the readers than the content.
Right. Yeah, this is just right. This takes the place of circulars that the local, it would be the dry cleaning shop, the local drugstore, and that kind of thing. The realtors, right? They needed a place. They can't afford the Globe, or at least the value isn't there. So he's filling a niche, and I think he's actually very smart. Dan, not
the
to have a
Google-
website.
yeah.
I mean, why bother to have a website? Advertisers don't want to deal with a site. They want to have something actually tangible that they can put into a potential customer's hands. Here's the coupon you can clip, $10 off on your little pizza, whatever it might be.
I think it's interesting that
smart.
the back page ad is
Yeah, they got a
is
back page from.
Yeah.
from the Red Sox.
Red Sox.
John Henry,
Says,
competitor in
new
one
season,
sense,
new
advertiser
paper.
in another.
Welcome to the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, maybe that'll get taken care of.
Yeah, good for them.